Okay, my name's Kyla, and I'm the first negative. So, the affirmative claims that if someone's terminally ill, they have the right to choose whether they live or not. The process for getting, it's PAS, Physicians Assisted Suicide is PAS. Doctors actually choose for the patient to live or die. So you actually have to go through a process with 2 oral requests, at least 15 days apart, and a written request to your physician, and then after that the physician has to get a second opinion from another physician, and that is the process. So technically the physician decides whether you live or die. Also, the physician, they're called safeguards that you have to go through, whether they have to see if you're depressed or not. They have to see whether you're actually wanting to end your life for the right reasons. But this can be taken away with doctors and coercion. According to Sarah Zagorski, she did an article where the new California law allows health insurance to deny treatment but cover assisted suicide drugs. She states that no assisted suicide safeguard can ever protect against coercion. So, in other words, the doctor ultimately has the right, whether the doctor likes having a bad day or a good day, if he wants to give you the drug or not, it's up to him. Also, this can be a choice, a manipulated choice. For example, for the second claim, terminally ill patients tend to become depressed, and therefore their decision to end their life can be somewhat manipulated. According to the Physicians of Compassion Compare Education Foundation, thinking about suicide is a cardinal feature of depression, and there is a direct relationship between depression and favoring assisted suicide. So, if you're depressed, I'm pretty sure everybody in here, if you were diagnosed with a terminally ill disease or whatnot, you're not going to be very happy about it. You're going to probably be depressed. And so the Baylor University Medical Center says the medical literature suggests that the incidence of major depression in terminally ill patients ranges from 25% of patients to 77%. So that's a big range of patients that are depressed after being diagnosed with a terminally ill disease or disorder. So when you have the processes done, the safeguards, the doctors are supposed to see whether you have depression or not. According to Physicians for Compassionate Care Education, between 2003 and 2005, less than 5% of those dying from assisted suicide had mental health consultation. So the doctors, the physicians just kind of gave them the prescription without having them checked up by psychologists. And there's actually been examples in cases where women with dementia and people with depression that got the pill. The affirmative also claims that terminally ill patients are not able to live life to their fullest potential. But how do you measure somebody's life to a full potential? I believe it depends on, potential is based on the situation of the patient. So my living life to my fullest potential is going to be totally different than somebody living life from their fullest potential in a wheelchair. They can't do what I can do, and I can't be what they are. For example, Steve Gleason was a player on the New Orleans Saints. At 34, he was diagnosed with ALS. He had to quit the team, couldn't play football anymore. To you, that's like horrible, right? That's not living life to the potential. But however, in his on his website, it says shortly after former New Orleans Saints star defensive back Steve Gleason is diagnosed with ALS at the age of 34, he learns that his wife, Michelle, is pregnant with their first child. Determined to live life his remaining years to its fullest, Steve goes on an expedition to Alaska, creates a foundation to help other ALS patients, repairs a rocky relationship with his father, embraces new technologies to help compensate for the deteriorating physical abilities. So I don't know about you, but in his situation, he's living his life to the fullest by helping people and being able to still have a relationship with his family. Also, a woman who does a blog of cancer, her name is Marcy Westerling. One of the sentences that really got to me was she wrote, "We are all terminally ill." So we are all terminally ill means we're all going to die. We're all terminal. It just matters how long we have. So we're living life to our fullest potential. There are also groups and organizations to help fill patients' joy and happiness within their situations. For example, Make-A-Wish is a great one. They help terminally ill children, kind of give them hope and a little bit of happiness in their situations, from getting to be Batman for a day, throwing out the first pitch, meeting their favorite celebrity. Make-A-Wish Foundation CEO says, "We grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy." So it gives them a little bit of hope to keep going and to make life not as hard, so that way they're living life to their fullest potential. Not everybody else's fullest potential, their fullest potential. And then the affirmative also states that PAS will prevent doctors from being prosecuted. This is true, but it's kind of in a disturbing way if you think about it. There are already ways for doctors, for people to commit suicide or surrender your life without needing a physician. For example, there's withdrawal. So if you want to withdraw from a treatment, then you are saying that you no longer want to do the treatment, and that's your choice. The doctor cannot tell you that. There's also DNR orders, which are do not resuscitate order, which you sign saying that if you stop breathing or if your heart stops, you don't want to get CPR, and that is a form of suicide without needing a physician. So therefore the physician doesn't need to be prosecuted, and PAS won't make a difference if it's legalized or not. And that's my thing.